What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Pancis. We are back at it with my 2004 Saab 9.5 that has over 200,000 miles. And if you're new to the channel, please smash the subscribe button. If not, thanks for your continued support. Today, I'm here to break some news to you. This car was rear-ended last week on my way to the airport, and I'll show you guys some pictures throughout the video, and we're just gonna kind of dive into this. Like, we had transmissions issues, we've had all sorts of problems with this car in the recent past, so check out the videos to learn more about that. We've addressed those issues, and as soon as we address the issues of the radiator and the transmission, the next day or the same day, driving to the airport, some guy thought the road was his and he could just stop in the middle of nowhere just to read the signs. You know, why not? Because he's the only one that exists in the world. And of course, my dad, who was driving the car, stopped, and unfortunately the guy behind us didn't manage to do so, and we were rear-ended. So in this video, we're gonna hop into some of the damage, hopefully address some of it in this video. If not, we'll finish it off on a later date. But I want to give you guys just a little update, because the Saab saga continues with this car, and I just can't make any of this up, right? Brake line, radiator, transmission, and all of it just back to back to back to back, and unplanned, unhinged, unplanned, just straight Saab life. Let's hop into it. So before I show you the remaining damage on this car, I want to let you guys know that I did go in there the other day when I got back from my trip to straighten out some of the bumpers so the plastic wouldn't actually reform itself into the bent position that it was in. But I'll go ahead and show you guys some pictures right here, right now, of what happened that day and what it looked like and versus what it looks like now, and then we'll dig in. I don't think any paint was scratched off. I think most of this can actually be buffed out for the most part. Now this side, as you saw in the picture, was completely popped out, and obviously we managed to put everything back into place and the body lines are perfect, right? But if we go to this side is still a little bit out of whack. We have a gap here and we're pushed out right there, and I'm not sure if that's because this is pushed in a little bit here, which is causing the formation of this plastic to not kind of properly wrap into place. So what we're gonna do today is just quickly disassemble this bumper, see what's going on behind there, and then what we'll go ahead and do is clean up this bumper with a polish and a buff. In fact, actually, before we remove the bumper, let's actually clean this bumper, because its car is very dirty since we've driven it across the country and obviously been road tripping it locally in Jersey here since. So we'll clean this up, get the polisher out, and see if we can clean some of this up. Again, listen, the guy said he'd be willing to pay to get this repainted or whatever damages. I'm not really too concerned because it's not so bad, and I'll just be fair and nice since it's an old car that I'm not going to care too much if there's some imperfections, even though we put a lot of work into this car. That being said, as you guys saw in the picture, the exhaust was bent down and now that is leaking. So I will go back to the guy and ask him to pay for a new muffler, rear muffler, which is only fair because obviously it wasn't broken. But the rest of it I'll take care of, and not really, bust him for the money on a bumper. Just really not too concerning. So let's hop into this. That's what's going on. You can't make it up. Let's do it. Alright guys, so now you guys can see what this looks like before. Let's hope we can get most of this stuff out. I suspect we'll have some good luck here, so cross our fingers. All right, guys, so here's the after. It's much better. It's not 100%, but then again, I can still go a little bit more on the buffing with this. But more importantly, now that this looks okay, like I'm not 100% satisfied, but it looks much better. Less scratches, obviously, got most of it out. But if you guys see here, this center here is kind of bowing in, and that's because the car was hit here. So I want to take off the bumper, see what's going on with the frame there. Maybe we can push the bumper out a little bit, and obviously that would address this bowing out there and just kind of make this thing look a little bit better. So let's just check out that situation. Again, from a 5-foot distance, the bumper looks fine. The light scratches that exist aren't the end of the world from what happened. And the only thing we'll taken care of is that exhaust. So let's hop into this. Very simple to remove this bumper, guys, if you haven't. There's one Torx bit here and a 10mm on each side underneath. So 2 screws essentially, and then the rest of it just kind of pops out. So everything is pretty much good. The only thing I can't get to stay in is this little side right here. I'm gonna remove the tail light and try to see what I can do to fasten this in. I think the plastic clips that hold that part in broke. So we'll see if we can refasten it another way. Other than that, we should be all set here. Okay, I figured it out. We're gonna put a little short subby screw in there with a flathead and just kind of figure out if that works. Okay, that's working. Now I'll just get the light in there and it should be all set. Solid, boys. We got 90% of the scuff out. We got the body lines lined up. Luckily we didn't hit the trunk lid, and we should be good. All set. So now we'll just go give this thing an oil change underneath, clean up the put some fresh oil in there, inspect under the car after the major road trip, and the radiator and the transmission. And hey man, Saab with 200,000 miles, still running strong. Now that we got the body work right, we got the radiator right, we got the transmission right, let's get the oil right. We're gonna change it out. We got 5,000 miles on the oil, so we'll put a new oil filter, fresh oil, and inspect everything underneath here, and probably clean up some of the transmission grease that's been kind of hanging out here since we had all the issues. And then I'll put the undercarriage tray back into place, and we should be set back to 100%. The only thing that left is the rear muffler from that little incident, which I'll get in touch with the guy this week, get it ordered up, and get it covered from a shop, and she'll be back to 100%, boys. So there you go, fresh radiator, everything else is looking good here. So we'll just clean up some of the grease and keep it going. But let's change that oil first. Alright boys, so now that we got fresh oil in there, I'm gonna go ahead and get some engine degreaser, and I'm just gonna degrease this area here and then a little bit underneath the car. Okay, I'm just gonna let that sit for just a minute or so, and then we'll get some spray and kind of wash the car off, and then we'll clean the driveway. See how it plays out. Guys, so we just took this thing for a nice ride to dry up the engine bay and get the water out, and just so you guys can see the plastics in the surrounding area where the trans fluid was spitting out originally is now officially all cleaned up and looking solid. The last thing I need to do, since we did the oil change and everything's cleaned, is put this under tray back on underneath the car, and she'll be complete. So let me just knock that out, and then I'll give you guys the final tour. All right, let's wrap this up. I'll give you guys the final tour of what 200,000 miles looks like for this 2004 Saab 9.5. So here we go, and I'm very proud to show you boys and girls. This is underneath. We got our tray back in. I noticed when I was doing the oil or the radiator that the oil cooler line was not fastened properly over here, so I just unbolted the 10mm bolt on the bracket and secured it. So that's finally secured, but we got our plastic back in, and now we can give you guys the final tour underneath this car. And no more grease since we degreased everything. Thankfully oil is looking good, no oil leaks. She's looking solid, boys, underneath here, and I'm very, very, very proud of all the hard work and the quality of the build of Saab. So there it is, a true testament. This thing went back and forth to Chicago and back, and here she is, looking pretty awesome underneath. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We got this thing fully serviced, all the fluids are good, coolant, brake fluid, trans fluid, oil, power steering is fine, never been an issue. And now we also have our rear end repaired from our little accident, and that's looking pretty decent. So solid. All right boys, so as you guys saw, the camera died on me there, cut out, but the car is doing fantastic. This morning drove it, it was 30 degrees on a cold transmission, and it was running smooth. Everything was running beautifully. Heat works nicely. Those butt warmers are fantastic. It's actually at the shop right now getting the muffler put in tomorrow, so should be back on the road with some good news in the next couple days. So for now, you guys got to watch me bring this thing back to almost 100%. Muffler will make that 100%. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is tires for this thing. The tires are not shot, but they're like pretty much on their way out. And if we're gonna be riding this car in the snow, it should have good snow, you know, some decent tread on there just for safety and being cautious and correct. So I didn't want to buy the tires until I knew that the car was going to be worthy of driving it. So now that we're there, we'll probably do that next. So stay tuned for more. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below, and I will see you all next time. Thank you.